Silenced. Not by a locked door. Not by a hand over your mouth. By something much quieter. Somewhere along the way, you learned your feelings were too much. Your needs felt inconvenient. And the safest version of you was the one who stayed quiet. So you did. And just for a moment, this video is here to help you understand that pattern, not to judge it or label you. You got good at reading the room before you even stepped into it. You learned to feel tension before it showed up. You learned to make yourself smaller before anyone asked you to. And somehow, that felt like being smart. But here's the part no one really talks about. That silence didn't stay back there. It followed you. Into your friendships. Into your relationships. Into rooms where your voice mattered, and you still said nothing. If you've ever felt your voice catch in your throat right when you needed it most, this is for you. Because what you're carrying isn't a flaw. It's a survival system. And today, we're going to gently understand how it formed, and what it might still be costing you. When a child grows up in a place where expressing emotion leads to dismissal, or tension, or even punishment, the nervous system makes a quiet decision. Speaking up feels dangerous. This isn't something you think through. It's something your body learns. Long before you had words for it. If the people around you were unpredictable, sometimes warm, sometimes distant, sometimes just not there, you adapted. You became easier. Quieter. Less visible. Not because you were weak, but because it worked. This is often called the fawn response. It sits next to fight, flight, and freeze. But it's harder to notice. Because from the outside, it looks like being polite. Being cooperative. Being the good one. But inside, it can feel like there's northwest safe place for your emotions to land. So over time, you stop offering them. And then something important happens. You grow up. The environment changes. The danger is no longer the same. But the silence stays. Your nervous system doesn't automatically update. It holds onto what once kept you safe. So now you're an adult. The room might be safe. The people might be kind. But the moment tension appears, your throat tightens. Your thoughts scatter. You say yes when you mean no. The system that protected you starts to make you invisible. You might feel like your needs are too much, even when they're completely reasonable. You wait for the perfect moment to speak, a moment where no one will push back. And because that moment rarely comes, you stay quiet. In relationships, this can turn into quiet resentment. Things bother you, but you tell yourself it's fine. Until one day, it isn't. And by then, there's so much inside, you don't even know where to begin. In your work, it might look like watching someone else say the thing you were thinking. You had the idea. You just couldn't say it out loud. Or you tried, and the words didn't come. There can also be a quiet kind of anger. Not loud or explosive, but turned inward. It sounds like, why didn't I say something? What's wrong with me? But that voice isn't the truth. It's what happens when emotions, especially anger, were never allowed to exist safely. You might also notice how alert you feel in conversations. Always scanning. Did that sound wrong? Are they upset? Did I say too much? That's your nervous system still doing its old job. Keeping the peace. Managing the room. Even if it means hiding yourself. And this part matters. This was never weakness. This was intelligence. This was a child doing the best they could, in an environment that didn't give them enough space. Silence was the strategy that worked. It kept you connected. It reduced conflict. It helped you stay safe. Even when you weren't fully seen. You adapted. In a way that was thoughtful and deeply aware. The pattern itself isn't the problem. The problem is that it never got updated. So what does an update look like? Not forcing yourself to suddenly be loud. Not pretending to be confident when you don't feel it. It starts smaller. It starts with noticing. Catching the moment when silence shows up, and getting curious instead of ashamed. There it is. That old rule. Your body tightening before you speak, that's not weakness. That's an old alarm system. One that learned its job well. And now, it just needs new information. Small steps help. Not big confrontations. Just small moments. Saying one sentence where you would have stayed quiet. Gently disagreeing in a space that feels even a little safe. Your nervous system learns through experience. Slowly. Carefully. That your voice can exist, and nothing bad happens. And something surprising often follows. The people who truly belong in your life don't leave when you speak. They lean in. They listen. They make space. And that changes everything. You didn't choose silence because you were weak. You chose it because it was the wisest option you had at the time. That version of you was perceptive, resourceful, quietly brilliant. But you're not in that same place anymore. The silence you carry is not who you are. It's what you learned. And what was learned can be unlearned. There is a voice underneath all of it. There always has been. It hasn't disappeared. It's been waiting. You are not broken. You adapted. And now, you can begin to come back.